My quote for the day: you have a moral obligation to bring out the best of what's inside you. The world needs what only you can offer. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Daily Truths and Weekly Wins. Yeah, I've been struggling today. I realized I recorded this episode once already and did not turn on the microphone. So here I am today again, trying to put it together quickly because I wanted to publish it today, but I just shared my quote. That's really what I wanted to dive into today. And it's been something that's been on my mind lately. I've spent the summer living in my camper and really reflecting on what I'm bringing to the world and what I'm bringing to myself. And it's something I feel is a lesson and also a reminder to all of us that it is our responsibility to bring our best to the world. So it's the idea that we all have a moral obligation to bring out the best of what's inside us. And that isn't just about reaching our potential or chasing success like a lot of people would think it is, because sometimes that's extrinsically driven. It's about realizing that the world actually needs what only you can offer: your experiences, your skills, your perspective. They're all unique. And the truth is, no one else can bring exactly what you bring to the table. I think it's important to really look into the different concepts of what I mean by a moral obligation and why some of us find so much resistance to showing up in the world as our authentic self. So, the first idea I had around this is the fear of sharing. It's easy to convince ourselves that our gifts aren't worth sharing. Maybe you think that what you have isn't special, or that someone else could do it better. Or perhaps you've been burned before. You tried to share something and it wasn't received the way you hoped. So you withdrew. You kept your light hidden because that felt safer. I think this is a commonplace for a lot of us, especially maybe if we were in a toxic relationship before. Uh, we tend to resist being vulnerable and sharing ourselves. But here's the thing: hiding your gifts doesn't just impact you, it impacts everyone around you. When you hold back, you deny the world something only you can provide. Let's think about that. How many times have you been inspired or motivated by someone else who had the courage to share their gifts? What if they had stayed quiet? What if they had chosen to be hidden? So, my idea of the moral obligation is kind of a little bit of a take from a podcast I listened to recently with Jordan Peterson. And he had said something, he quoted some scripture. I can't remember exactly which one it is. Once I find it, I'll include it in the show notes. But it was around this obligation that we have to show up in the world as our full authentic self. And we often talk about obligations to others, our families, our communities, our careers. But how often do we think about our obligation to the world, to the bigger picture? Isn't just about being successful or making it. It's about stepping into who you truly are and allowing the light to shine. The world isn't just a backdrop for your life. It's an interconnected web where your actions, your words, and your contributions create ripples. And it's not just about being extraordinary. It's about being authentic. It's about showing up, flaws and all, and sharing your story, your perspective, and your truth. Because somewhere out there, someone needs exactly what you have. They're waiting for it, whether they realize it or not. And your courage to step up can be the catalyst that changes that life. Embracing your gifts is another thought that I had around this. And it's understanding that bringing out the best in yourself doesn't mean you have to be perfect. In fact, it's in your imperfections, your struggles, and your journey that your true power lies. Every mistake you make, every lesson you've learned, and every triumph and failure They all come together to form a unique mosaic that is you. And that's what makes your contribution so valuable. It's that uniqueness of your experiences and your wins and your failures. I've seen it time and again with clients and friends, and even my journey this last year. The moment you decide to stop holding back and to start sharing what's inside you, something shifts. You become more confident, more fulfilled, more connected. And in that process, you begin to inspire others to do the same. I do want to share some tactical steps on how to move into this place of our obligation to show up authentically. So I got 5 actions or steps that will help you show up and share who you are. Number 1, identify your strengths. Take some time to reflect on what you're naturally good at, what lights you up, and what you feel drawn to. These are clues to the gifts you're meant to share. Number 2, start small. And this is where I think a lot of people get stuck. Because of social media, it always comes down to we have to have this grand thing or gesture or big announcement. But really just sharing in little ways, maybe through a conversation with a friend, a social media post, or helping someone in your community. Number 3, be authentic. Your gift doesn't need to be polished or perfect. In fact, people often connect more deeply with authenticity. Share the real you, the ups and downs and everything in between. And as I mentioned, I recorded this whole podcast and forgot to turn the mic on. So I'm scrambling to re-record it to get it released today. And that is my authentic self. Number 4, embrace vulnerability. And that's really where the magic happens. I get it. It's scary to put yourself out there. Remember that vulnerability is where true connection happens. When you let others see your journey, they feel empowered to embrace their own. Number 5, stay committed. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when you feel like your voice doesn't matter, but keep going. The more you share, the more you'll see the impact you're making. The truth is, you have something inside of you that the world needs. It might be a story, a talent, a perspective, or simply the energy you bring to a room. And by holding back, you're not just robbing yourself of the chance to live fully. You're robbing others of the chance to be touched, inspired, and changed by you. So today I challenge you to take that step, however small it might be. Share a little piece of yourself with the world. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but remember that you have a moral obligation to bring out the best of what's inside you. The world is waiting for only what you can offer. Thanks for joining me on the daily truths and the weekly wins. I hope today's episode leaves you inspired to embrace life's challenges and make the most of every day. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with someone who could use a little boost. Join me again for more insights and encouragement. Until then, remember, progress, not perfection. Keep striving, keep growing.